Welcome to Wake Up Real Estate on a Monday morning. This is episode 6. It's Monday. It's Monday, February 13th, the day before Valentine's Day, the day after a crushing loss for the Birds. Yeah, please don't rub it in too badly. What are you going to do, right? 20 years ago, it would have bothered me a lot more. Now it's, it was a bummer in the moment, but life goes on. Life goes on. Yeah. So thanks for joining us here on a Monday morning. If you haven't already done so, make sure you create your free membership account at wakeupre.com. We've got lots of cool stuff in there for you, and the community is growing very quickly. And quite honestly, we're just getting started over there. So you're going to see even more cool stuff that you can R&D, swipe and deploy, whatever the case may be. We're trying to make it a place of community for sharing of referrals, for us to more easily give you, for example, the social post of the day for you to swipe and deploy, and the scripts that we share, etc. Again, it's completely free. You can go to wakeupre.com. When you do, make sure that you introduce yourself. There's a pin post in there for you to introduce yourself. And also make sure that you go post your score at wakeupre.com/scoreboard. wakeupre.com/scoreboard. Every day, Ryan is giving away $20 in credits at thanks.io for you to use for some direct mail to uncover some business opportunities for you. And all you have to do to enter is enter your score. And you can see the scoreboard and what the point totals are. But the point of the scoreboard, very simply, is to keep you focused on doing the things that will get you more business, right? To create and post content, to generate new leads, to have conversations with those leads, and then appointments from those conversations, and ultimately closings from those conversations and appointments. And I've got a couple of things to share today along those lines of examples of scripts, and both a text script that generated conversations and also an actual phone conversation script as well that's working really well for me right now. So Ryan, before we get into that, I just, well, you know what? Go ahead. Let's start with this, but I want to move the motivation, especially on a Monday, up in the schedule here. I've got a good simple one, but let's talk quickly about mortgages. I don't even have my screen ready to share, so
that's all right. Yeah, they're creeping up a tiny bit. Tomorrow there's a CPI news that comes out at 8:30 in the morning. The markets are kind of paused there. That could rock things a little tiny bit. The 10-year yield over the last, it's kind of where it was a few days ago. Your EXP stocks are just hitting resistance and coming back down. Just teasing, Josh. But yeah, that's the macro mortgage stuff.
So, I mean, not a huge change, right? I would expect that you will see a little bit of increase on those rates and then coming back down. But all of that, there is opportunity in all of that, especially when you're educated and when you have access to programs like one I'm going to mention a little bit later in our Mortgage Minute, where you can get people in the market that didn't even realize they could be in the market, right? They may have a limiting belief, and by you being the person that makes them aware that they can buy a home right now, they're going to care less about their mortgage rate. I'm not saying that they could care less. I'm saying that will be less of a focus for them if you're being the one that is showing them how they can buy a home when they didn't think they could right now, regardless of what the rates are. So anyway.
Josh, just another thought that comes to mind before we get into social post. This could also be a good link to share and to just copy onto your socials maybe once a week.
Yes,
just a quick, easy thing to do.
Now, while you bring up the social post, this is perfect bouncing back and forth, because I want to share the motivation. I posted this on my social early this morning, and this is relevant to all of you to do what Ryan's about to share. The quickest way to succeed is to start now and figure it out as you go. You can't learn to drive in a parked car. Now, as much as I would like my son to learn how to drive in a parked car, because it's a little bit stressful when he's actually driving, the idea here is you will never know what is going to work best in your market, and which of whether it's a social post or a text script or a call script or an email script, you won't know for sure what will work until you actually do it and use it. And And so those of you that have been following along and implementing the social posts of the day, hopefully you're starting to get some feedback one way or another to learn about what is or isn't working and makes sense for you. Oh, I like this one. So this is Ryan today. I like this a lot.
So I'm kind of gearing up, and we're going to have some content about working the investor niche. But in the process of wrapping my head around that, my brain always goes to, well, it's going to be easy to generate the lead, but how am I going to service the leads that come in, right? Yep. So I'm starting to think about the content, what's going to be in my drip emails, what's going to be socially put out there, and I started Googling around for some books. I was also thinking about, how do I brush up myself? This isn't a topic I've thought a ton about the last year or two. I've been busy with other things. So I Googled around. There was an article on Business Insider. I just Googled books about real estate investing. It was one of the first one to come up. They had a nice little listicle post for me. I copied, pasted, formatted it, and the post is pretty simple. Opportunity knocks. Got your icons in there. Here below are 10 books about real estate investing you might want to check out if you're interested in building long-term multi-generational wealth. And then the little simple call to action. Once you've read a few, reach out. We'll find you a solid opportunity here in St. Pete. List the post. I went a little extra, Josh. You know me. I just use my screencasting tool to have a funny GIF and then a screenshot of the books.
I was just gonna ask what you made. I figured it was Screencast-O-Matic. I like Loom. Either way, there's lots of great solutions for that. And this is an example of why you want to have a get your free membership at wakeupre.com, because you can more easily just swipe and deploy this post example here that Ryan has for us.
And let me quickly mention, I got 2 likes. These are people I know, of course. John Bush, he's a great entrepreneur down in Texas, but I know he, it was cool to see him like it because I could see him buying property here one day. And then Yenny's like a family friend, but she also recently got her real estate license and she went to another brokerage, not mine. So she's engaging. Hey, I need to up my game. So if you are recruiting, just something to put in the back of your head, these social posts will kind of signal to other agents that you're doing stuff that's consistently interesting. Maybe, I don't know.
Exactly. No, listen, you're staying top of mind on multiple levels with people, potential clients, but also potential referral partners, right? Like most of us on socials, we have realtor friends and a lot of them may not be in the market, right? So you're reminding them in this scenario that they can refer you real estate investors. And I mentioned this last week that my social content got me a referral from a real estate investor, a local Facebook friend, and they're an actual friend, but because of Facebook content that I've been creating, he referred me a buddy of his who lives on the West Coast but wants to invest here in Central PA. And we've been going back and forth. We had a phone conversation. We have I've been sending him properties, and I don't know, one of them caught his eye over the weekend. We'll see. Maybe we'll end up writing an offer on it.
Yeah. So just to mention this post, we're doing our best. This is going to get a little messy for a little while, Josh, as we figure it out. But in the Wake Up Real Estate, I put this under shareable resources, and it'll live under the social posts of the day for you guys to grab. I'll post it there later. And just know you guys are free to post stuff in here too. If you have ideas and you want to share, use it that way. So what's next?
I didn't get to create my social post of the day yet. I plan on doing it once we wrap up here. I actually had planned to do it before, but I was doing some other follow-ups, which I'm going to get to in a minute as well. So good stuff. Let's take action on that. I will dig in and share a little bit of what I am working on, which is, first and foremost, I want to share this. Oh, wait a minute. Am I sharing my screen? No, I'm not. Hold on. There we go. So I sent this text message. I'm gonna cover this and the follow-up script, and then I want to bounce to the Mortgage Minute real quick. So I sent this text blast out on Saturday morning. So I went into KV Core, I found this listing, I did matching buyers, and I blasted this out. Okay, that's how I did it. But the point here is take this idea and figure out how you can do it, whether or not you have KV Core or whatever else. This is a new construction that is move-in ready. And the reason why I sent this out, quite honestly, the builder sent me an email about this one. Like, that's what prompted me to think, quick move. We can settle in 45 to 60 days. Let's send it out, see what happens. So this was in KV Core. We can put a little image with it and a link to the listing. Morning, check out this quick move, new construction home in CV Schools. Let me know if you or someone you know, in parentheses, would like more info or a private tour. Thanks, Josh. Okay, so it's like whatever, it was a good content. Now, here's what happened from that. I sent that out to, I don't know how many it went out to, quite honestly, a couple hundred probably. I generated from that, there were 2 inbound calls that came in, one of which is downsizing or right sizing into a single story condo. Okay. And that was a great opportunity. One of the things I was doing prior to hopping on here was handing off that client on the buy side to my buyer specialist. I'll help her list her property, but Cosette, my buyer specialist, will help her on the buy side of that property. And so that came from this. But what I also did from this, and why I like doing things like this, and I love KV Core for something like this, is it prompted a bunch of people to come back and start looking at properties
on
the site. Okay?
Your activity stream.
Exactly. Yeah. Exactly. So I had like 20 or 30 minutes Saturday morning while I was waiting to do our normal thing, going this way and that. We had like 3 basketball games, and my wife was kind enough to take me out of town to have dinner with some longtime friends in the King of Prussia area. But before all of that, I had a few minutes, and I've been playing around with some different follow-up processes to create warm referrals. And it's because we're doing some things with realtor partners on the mortgage side. And so I'm in the trenches doing this stuff. Okay. And for any of you, if you know me, I don't love making outbound phone calls. Okay. Let's be honest. But generally speaking, it's because I don't want to make cold outbound phone calls. Right. And that's not what these are. So here's how this script goes. I would go and find people that were looking at properties, but not just the one that I texted, right? Because lots of people are going to come and look at that just because, like, I text blasted that.
This is the activity stream, Josh. You're looking at the activity stream in KV Core, or
right? Yeah, the activity feed. And actually, I did this. I was doing this on the app on my phone because I was just I was kind of like walking around. Like I try and find ways, Atomic Habits style stuff. Like find as many ways possible to utilize your time. So I was putting dishes away and stuff like that. And I was like, oh, I'll just call some people. Okay. I just
want to show everybody for context. You're just going into your CRM. It doesn't need to be KV Core, whatever you use. And most of them these days will show you who's active, right?
Right. And now there's an approach with this script for the ones that aren't active. But for today, I want to kind of tie all of this together, right? I sent this script out, or I sent that text out. It generated activity. Here's what I did with the activity, right? Number one, I said that I got 2 inbound phone calls. Okay. The one was annoyed. Fine. Okay.
They took the time to call you.
Yeah. Right. Arlene was a good one. I also got multiple text responses. 1 or 2 asked for a link to the property because for some reason they didn't get the link in the text, and it could have been just their cell phone provider or whatever. But there were some conversations that happened by text. And then the other thing I did, which again, I spent, I don't know, it wasn't even a half an hour. I called 5, maybe 10 leads in the activity screen. And this was the script. Hi, Ryan. This is Josh. How are you this morning?
Annoyed you called me. Yeah.
No,
I'm good.
Not a one of them was. That's the thing. Not a one of them was. And part of it was my tone. I was excited. Hey, Ryan, it's Josh. How are you?
Right. It's hard to not reply to that.
Right. Positively. Yeah. Right. And so the next part, super simple. I was just reaching out to check in and make sure we're not dropping the ball on anything for you. Looks like you were looking at a couple of properties. Are there any that you'd like more information on or a private VIP tour of? That's it. And then let them talk. Nah, I'm just looking, which I got several of that. I'm just looking and curious. I appreciate the call or whatever. And I may press a little like, hey, well, what has you looking? Right? Like just to try and find out, are they looking to downsize, right size, whatever? So you may ask, well, what is it that you're looking for? Or is it a particular area that you're looking in? Whatever the case may be, right? But it's literally just a service call. Okay. It's not pushy. It's not salesy. It's just a service call. And I found I've been doing these for a few days, 5 to 10 per day, and it's been generating warm referrals. And what I call a warm referral is a deep enough conversation to get more clarity around what they're looking for and when they're looking. That's it. What they're looking for. So, for example, Arlene, she wants a single-story condo in 2 particular townships. Like, that's a good call. That's a good warm referral. and I know that she also has a home to sell, and I confirmed the address, right? And it was good that I did, because she was in my CRM, but we had the wrong address for her. I don't know why, but we did, right? So I got the right address for her, and then I sent her an updated home valuation. I got her set up on a market report, and then this morning I made an email introduction to Cosette, my buyer specialist, and I included a BombBomb video in doing so. Like, that's a
nice.
good potential client. Is she ready to buy tomorrow? No, but that's fine, right? We're filling the pipeline of future business such that when she hits a tipping point, she's going to call me. Okay.
Those just browsings, that was a warm conversation that they probably left feeling good about. If you were cool and just let them off the phone.
Yeah. It wasn't like
somebody will tell you they're just browsing and they're planning to buy next month. They don't want to talk to you right then and there about it. Yeah.
Yep. And a great follow-up to these conversations, whether it's a handoff to a lender or a handoff to your buyer agent or your showing agent or whatever that handoff is or next step is, a video as part of that is incredibly powerful. Even if it's just to say, hey, Arlene, it was great chatting with you. I just wanted to allow you to put a face with the name. We'd love the opportunity to help you if or when the time comes, right? Now you're the one that's not what she expected, right? She may have in her brain, all real estate agents are the same. They have commission breath.
This guy's spamming me every day with emails.
Yeah, totally. And we're creating a different approach. And if you do that, over time, what happens is they come back to you when they're ready, and it's not a competition. You don't have to compete for their business. You've got it, so that's a script that I've been using. Maybe later in the week, I'll cover the variation of how we're using that with cold leads. In other words, and when I say cold, I mean they're in the database. So they did something. At some point, they had requested information or opted into something, but they're not active right now. And so I'll give you a simple one for that, but we'll save that for later in the week, a little tease. One last thing I had to share, Ryan, under our Mortgage Minute concept is, and this is going to be a regular theme here. This is a non-QM mortgage product. I just got an email from this company. This is one of the companies that we work with, the lenders that we work with here at Nexa. And I just want to give you an idea. Get your reticular activating system working so you can go and find clients that you can help, maybe that you were ignoring or, are underserved, whatever the case may be. So this is a bank statement program. Perfect for business owners and self-employed folks. They can get up to 90% LTV. So they do need some down payment funds, but oftentimes these folks have that. It's just that they don't have the other documentation necessary to make it work. Or they don't.
Or there's equity in the property that gets them there, right?
100%.
Yeah.
They can have a credit score as low as 600, which, by the way, if they're not there yet, we offer free credit direction for anyone who's referred to us. We offer free credit direction. And so if they're not there yet, we will help them get there, and we don't charge for it. Now, they have to do the work, but we'll tell them what to do to get to that point. Borrowers can own as little as 50% of the business for business bank statements or 25% for personal bank statements. They can do a purchase and or cash out or rate and term refi, right? So it may not be, it may be that they're doing a cash out refi to get equity to then buy a investment property. Okay. Get creative here. It could be owner occupied, second homes, and non-owner occupied. So it fit investment criteria. And 30-year fixed with a 10-year interest only available, right? That's a way that they can keep the payment more affordable for the first 10 years. Loans up to $3 million, minimum $150, 1099 income, and non-warrantable condos allowed. So just want to make you aware of what's out there and available.
Is the bank statement showing kind of like income? You're using the bank statement to show flows in and out?
Right.
It's justify payment. Yeah. Okay.
Totally. Instead of
and cash and funds to close kind of at the same time.
Exactly.
Okay.
So there has to be, there has to be reason that the lender is going to loan to them. But oftentimes these folks get creative with their taxes and so forth, and they can't. They don't have where a typical employee may have that documentation more readily available. So does it mean that, you've got somebody that will qualify? No, but again, I just want to make you aware of what's available so you can go and find transactions. Be a problem solver in your market instead of, go ahead.
Yeah, just creating the deal instead of waiting for somebody who's ready to buy or sell a residential transaction. You could go, there's 100 ways to do this, but you could go mail or email business owners in your market right now and just say, hey, we have a great program, and just tell them about that program in the email, and I'm sure you'll get bites.
Totally. By you being the one making them aware of something that they didn't know was a possibility for them. They may have a limiting belief for good reason. And by you being the one that shows them that, this is possible, now you've created a client out of thin air, right? You're not competing with someone else for that client, like a Zillow lead or whatever. Like they're yours. You've already demonstrated value to them. So we'll continue to share examples like that. But
I'm dying to build a funnel on that very hook, and that one might be a good one. I want to try and add that is around the financing and not a property list, which is generally what we're doing. So more on that. We'll be working on that.
Totally. 100%. Ryan, what are you working on?
Just a few things that I posted in the let's see, I'll bring it up here, that I posted in the Wake Up Real Estate portal. I was just sprucing up my KV course site. I had like an old goofy picture that I must have done on a webinar. So I put a video in here about removing the background of an image in Canva. Just a silly trick. I don't know if people know you can do this, but you can quickly remove the background. So there's that.
That is one of our favorite features in Canva. We use that. Mike and I use that almost on a daily basis.
Yeah, it's really, it's one of those things like I didn't know it was there till a few months ago. I was like, oh, wow, light bulb. And I'm using it constantly now. I was working with a Thanks.io user, Edie in Austin. She's working a downsizing niche and getting a campaign out, but she didn't really have a way to get people to opt in to get her free guide on downsizing. So I told her I'd help her out. This took me about 5 minutes to do. It's a Google form. So you just go build a form in Google. She had a banner on the actual PDF document that I just kind of uploaded as the banner. Instantly download your guide, ask a few questions right here, at the end. And you get a URL that you can drive people to quickly without having to spend any money because it's Google. It's free. So,
and the thing I'll point out here is when you're doing something like this, the more valuable the thing is, the more likely you are to get them to provide more information, right? If you're just providing, if it isn't a compelling item of value, it's probably not going to work. But this is good, right? And maybe, and I'm just looking at this and thinking, how could it be made even more relevant? Senior Guide to Downsizing in Austin, Texas, or whatever, right? Like making it even more congruent or relevant to the audience that it's being put in front of, also helps on the conversion factor of this. But this is a great way to test ideas. Go back to the motivation share earlier, right? You can't learn to drive by trying to drive by practicing in a parked car, right? You got to just get some stuff going. And if you have an idea, a Google form, and you don't have a way to build out something like that, a Google form is a great free way to just test it out. Like, is anybody going to request this thing? Will anybody opt in for this?
Yeah, in context, this is a PS on an invite you sent out. So it's just a PS. Hey, in the meantime, I've got a downsizing guide. So I don't know if the landing page needs to do much other than just, it depends on the ad driving there. So we'll see how it goes. Also, I'll just mention now, we're going to test out the live event feature, Josh, today inside of Wake Up Real Estate.
Oh, sweet. Okay.
I've never used it. I'll test it before, but I'm just going to do kind of a mailer. What would we even call this thing? Special events and live. We're just going to do a snail mail strategies because I've had a bunch of scripts and letters related to real estate going on in Thanks.io the last week or two. And we'll just look at some of that stuff, and you guys can ask any questions and get help there if you want. That's at 2:00 today in the members area. So if you can make it, great. Otherwise, we'll record it and it'll be in there for you.
Beautiful.
And then what else?
I got one more quick tip, and then we'll take care of some housekeeping things and let everybody head off to knock it out of the park this week. So number one, a quick tip: if you've got listings, this is a simple thing, and it's not revolutionary in any way, shape, or form, but maybe you need a reminder, like I did. If you've got a listing and it's not selling, follow up with everybody that showed the property and just ask, right? Like, I know pretty much every MLS has the automated feedback request stuff, and that's great, but you manually following up with them. So I'll just tell you, I followed up with I had 3 showings on a listing that they started too high despite my recommendations. We've now reduced it twice. And we had 3 showings on Saturday. One of them already filled back the feedback. The other 2 did not yet. And so I simply followed up with them very, very quickly by text. Hey, Kimmy, thanks for showing my listing. Any interest from your clients? ? Anything we can do to help facilitate a deal? ? Let me know. Thanks, Josh. Okay. It never hurts to ask, right? Because maybe those clients were kind of up in the air. And also, the buyer agents that are showing your listings, they may not be very skilled. So you might be able to coach them and help them get their clients to make a decision one way or the other, right? Yes or no? They're kind of on the fence. Well, what are they on the fence about? Is it a financing thing? Is it a condition thing? Like, what can we do to make this happen? Right? What is the objection that maybe we can figure out a solution to together and put something together? So just be a creative problem solver and follow up, and you never know, right? You never know. Okay. Great. Housekeeping items. Number 1, 11 a.m. So about a half an hour from now, if you're on this live, every Monday we do a Monday marketing mastermind in my my organization. You can come check it out for free. growwithjosh.com/huddle. growwithjosh.com/huddle. This morning, we're sharing a whole bunch of free ways to generate business, to generate leads right now. We shared a couple this past Friday on Free Leads Friday. We're going to do a deeper dive on this coming Friday on one of those, but we're just going to brainstorm and mastermind as many different ways we can come up with to generate leads for free right now. Because let's face it, many of us are struggling, and we may have time, but not the money to invest. And there are lots of great ways to uncover opportunities if you have the time and you commit to putting in that time. So you can join us at 11 a.m. Eastern, growwithjosh.com/huddle. At 1 o'clock today, we're doing a free class on how to get listings from absentee owners. And you can check that out at absenteeclass.com, absenteeclass.com. And then number 3, Ryan just mentioned it, but I'll say it again, at 2 Eastern, right in our Wake Up Real Estate community, which you can create a free account at wakeupre.com, wakeupre.com. Ryan's going to be going live. We're testing that out as we build that community over there as a great way to provide more value and goodwill for all of you and help you all do more business. Later this week, we're lining up some special guests because Ryan won't be with us on Thursday or Friday. We're lining up some special guests for that. Tomorrow is Texting Tuesday. So we'll have some good stuff on that. And if you need anything in the meantime, have any questions, whatever the case may be, don't hesitate to reach out. Create your free account at wakeupre.com. And oh, by the way, I didn't mention at the beginning, just by registering for free, you will get a $5 Starbucks gift card, among many other cool things. So, Ryan, thanks for hooking that up. And we'll announce in there as well the winner of the daily scorecard of $20 in mailing credits at thanks.io. So thanks for spending some time this morning. Yep. Get to it, take action, implement some of these ideas and strategies, and then join us again tomorrow. Same bat channel, same bat station. Ryan, thanks. And I'm looking forward to the session at 2 as well.
All right. See you guys.